Thanks for coming. It's going to be a full room of people.
What we have here is our combined Lakewood-Wheat Ridge Emergency Operations Center. The purpose of an Emergency Operations Center is to provide support for various command posts throughout the city. As a sergeant, police sergeant, or someone else in an emergency in the city would call in, they need various resources. They might need more barricades or more plow trucks or to set up a shelter or something like that. The job here is to find those resources, keep track of those resources.
EOC is a location where members of the Wheat Ridge Police Department can respond to in the event of a disaster. That can be a man-made disaster, a natural disaster, or a significant event where a lot of our operational resources are tied up in trying to respond and contain a situation.
Right when I was elected mayor, the City of Wheat Ridge and the City of Lakewood created an Emergency Operations Center, which is a joint effort to protect citizens of Lakewood and Wheat Ridge. It's a unique partnership that you'll see within Jefferson County where two cities come together, sharing resources, sharing technology, sharing personnel to actually protect the citizens of their cities.
What we're going to be doing is a winter storm exercise with a power outage. So we're going to have a bunch of problems. And if you probably know, but you have another set of people in another building who are acting as incident command in the field. Our job here is to support them. Whatever needs they have, whatever direction, whatever resources, supplies, equipment.
One of the biggest natural disasters we could face is either a huge blizzard or a huge storm like we had 2 years ago in 2009. In this case, we have to have our trucks, personnel, code enforcement, police out and about, making sure that roads are open, people can access emergency vehicles and access anyone who might need help.
Automobile accidents, other weather-related emergencies such as power failures, water main breaks. So we're practicing that today so that in the event this occurs, that we'll be better prepared in the future for a major winter storm.
National Weather Service in Denver has issued a winter storm watch for blizzard conditions, which is in effect until 6 a.m. tomorrow morning. Periods of moderate to heavy to extreme snow will continue throughout the day and into the evening.
This is extremely important because you need to practice to be good for a real emergency. During a real emergency, you don't want to have to find out where your problems are.
We have Arvada, Wheat Ridge, Lakewood, Golden, Jefferson County, R1 School District, and a number of other agencies that are playing in this exercise. So it's a county-wide exercise.
Emergencies seldom happen isolated to one city. So by combining our Emergency Operations Center in Lakewood, we can share physical resources, making it more economical for the taxpayer, as well as we can share human resources, which are limited during these emergencies.
It's really been beneficial for us because it allows for a lot better resources and technological capability. As you look around, you see the multiple screens. We've also shared training exercises such as this, which helps. We can get the additional staffing necessary that we would typically get in an emergency.
The other EOC numbers up here, Arvada EOC, Golden EOC, Jeffco EOC, R1 schools. These are the telephone numbers to call.
There's a tremendous amount of effort each year that the city puts forth in practicing and preparing for each type of scenario that might come along. That's why all of the city entities, you have Public Works, you have the police department, you have the fire department. Everybody works hand in hand just to prepare for any type of disaster that might come along.
In the City of Wheat Ridge, we have a committee that specializes in emergency operations. We have the Public Works people are here, and they're very involved in major storms and storm issues. We also have the Parks and Rec people here. In the City of Wheat Ridge, we use the Recreation Department for a lot of our sheltering. We also have somebody from Community Development here today. They would do more of the damage assessment and make sure that structures are safe after there's been some type of storm. And of course, the cooperation between the police department and the fire departments in the area is also essential to manage an emergency.
IT is here because in this modern day and age, we like to use our computers and electronics. They keep us up and operating. So just about every part of the city is represented.
We've got a roof collapse at Mountain Vista that we're not able to get to, but West Metro is on that.
Here at the law enforcement portion of the EOC, it's to coordinate things with the incident commander and law enforcement and relay all of the resources that they need to help them get the job done out there in the street.
I think there's some I-70 stuff that we need to touch base with them for help on I-70 or anything? Or?
Yeah, as far as I know, we're good right now. I'll just give them a call.
We're going to have to get some transportation for people, probably some special needs, some animal control issues.
So we're not looking at a large population of horses, and if it cuts off.
This training is useful because I'm working with different agencies to try to help save people and livestock and keep people off the roads, provide information on where they can go, what they can do next, what resources are available for both people and animals.
We can take up to 350 in that facility, so we'll just need to keep a count on where we're at. We're about 200 right now. Basically, the Wheat Ridge Recreation Facility as an evacuation site. If we can handle people, do we have transportation available? Really more of using the recreation center for stranded motorists on I-70 or any sites that need to be evacuated. It's very realistic. I think having people off-site and making phone calls and all that makes it seem much more realistic rather than just walking across to another table and say, hey, what's going on?
We're working on a shelter. We need a count of people in that area to figure out how many people are going to that shelter, and we'll get that up on the board for you.
Basically been working on evacuation, helping to get people that are stuck. We've been helping to assist in transportation with the Red Cross, and then setting up our shelter right now, which is the Wheat Ridge Recreation Center. Just trying to assist and make contact with whatever is going on within the city right now at this point. Very intense. There's just so many scenarios going on that the follow-up's pretty critical on too. But it happens. It's just one big blast.
My role here today is to make sure that the equipment that Wheat Ridge has allocated for the Lakewood EOC actually works and does what it's supposed to do. Communication is so important because it's very hard to be in two places at once. You want a centralized location to manage all the bits of information coming in from the outside world. So you have officers on radios and cell phones, you have citizens calling in with information. They need a centralized or as centralized a place of communication as possible.
When you make that call in a dispatch, would you request, Jim Lorentz is requesting any available personnel that we can call in to come in? The teamwork's essential when it comes to an EOC exercise. It's important everybody knows their role, but also everybody shares the information.
Teamwork is huge. Just working with Rick, the manager of Parks and Open Space. This is the first time I've ever been involved in this type of exercise, so getting some on-the-job training from him, and then working with our PD and our Public Works and Red Cross and the public schools, it can work without teamwork.
If it's not the first time that you've done something, more than likely we'll be better at it. We get to work all the bugs out. We anticipate some of the things that could possibly happen, and that just makes us better if a real emergency occurs.
I think what it does is it makes us more aware. We've already seen some places that we're not prepared with who we need to call, who we need to have as backup. So I think it helps us really be prepared for this happening in the future.
I think we're able to respond a lot better. We can define our priorities a little bit better, and the role that we have, we all pretty much know what we need to do at this point. I think it'll only benefit to help get things back on track again at a much quicker pace.
This is my fourth one now. Each one has got successively better, and our role has gotten increasingly larger. In a way, it's kind of exciting. You just hope that all the muscle memory that you've built up during the exercises works when you really need it.
It's always fun and a good experience to do these, and hopefully we don't have to do them for real, but we're ready when it happens.